Hi, Dad. How are you today?
Hey, Jordana. It's a great day. A lot of football, but we made it for Hallmark.
We did.
And we saw two Hallmarks this weekend. And I was critical last weekend of Hallmark because they're producing so many Christmas films. But I've changed my attitude. The two we saw this weekend were outstanding. They were humorous, they were fun to watch, they were tearful, and it was a pleasant weekend. Tell me how you felt about Hallmark.
So I couldn't agree more. And I think this is going to be where we're going to pick and choose what we're watching because
Yes.
there's hit and misses because there are so many of them. So we didn't watch all of the ones yet
Yes,
for
that's
this
right.
weekend. We actually went back and watched Holiday Mismatch, which was from a few weeks ago, which I wanted to watch because I
Yes.
was a fan of Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And the two
Yes.
main characters from there are one, missing Melissa Joan Hart, but the aunts were featured in this movie
That's
working
right.
together.
And they were terrific. They played competing mothers.
Yeah.
And you know how mothers can be when they're competing with their children. And it was fun to watch. It was realistic. It was about dating on online sites, and a lot of people met their spouses while online.
But the kids didn't sign up for these apps. That's where the
That's
kind
right.
of the wrinkle came into that these kids didn't want to be dating during the holidays. They wanted nothing to do with it. But the mothers were meddling and wanted their children to have significant others during this time period. So they both got onto this matchmaker site and found people that they thought would be great matches for their children. So
And
it started off that they were just doing
Yes.
this to get their mothers off their back.
And in reality, it worked. The writer, Sarah Weiss, gave us such a wonderful story, and it was very believable, and it ended in such a happy, delightful fashion about these two young people whose mothers put them up to it.
Yeah.
And the mothers were successful.
Yeah, and it was fun all along the way. Now, what I loved about this and why I wanted to watch this one is they were sneak peeking some of this movie, and anybody who watched the show that these two actresses, Caroline Rhea and Beth Broderick, had been in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, they had said that there were going to be some Easter eggs from the show they were on before, sprinkled out throughout this, like some clothes they wore or jewelry. So if you guys watching this notice the Easter eggs, put them in our comments. I'd love to see if you also spotted the Easter eggs.
Yes, and it was a great movie. It was fun to watch. It moved very rapidly. And for those people who have met their lover, their spouse online, you recognize yourself in
fun.
this film.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was cute how they weren't planning on really falling for each other, but just spending time together brought out the realization that they had things in common. They enjoyed spending time together. Sometimes that's what it takes. And then the mothers were trying because the mothers did not like each other. And so they were trying to break them up the whole time.
Can you imagine suddenly finding that your adversary's child is the lover of your child and you didn't plan on that to be? No. But it was a very wonderful show to watch.
Fun.
It was clever. It was an anticipated ending, but we all enjoyed the ending.
Yeah.
And the two young actresses, actor and actress, were really very compatible with each other, and they expressed their love through their dialogue, and it was understandable and realistic, and you felt maybe those were your children.
I love that you brought about the supporting cast. So it wasn't just about our two main mothers. it was Maxine Dennis and John McLaren were new to Hallmark, but I thought they were phenomenal playing Lauren and Shane. They were phenomenal. They played some great characters together.
It looked like we were part of their love life.
Yeah.
And we really enjoyed that. And we also enjoyed Christmas with the Singhs.
Yes, Christmas with the Singhs. Was the second movie we watched. Now, we watched that as it aired Friday. No, we watched it the day after, so we watched it Saturday night. Yeah. We still have to watch Jingle Bell Run, which I think is going to be great, but we wanted to watch this one because of Benjamin Hollingsworth, because he is Brady in Virgin River. We are dedicated to him.
Yes, we're Virgin River fans. Yeah.
So we wanted to watch this, and this one I wasn't sure what I was going to think about it, but I was surprised. I really liked this one.
Well, first of all, the writers for this, Emily Ting and Patricia Isaac, did a wonderful job. They brought together the loving mixture of two different families, two different cultures, and it sort of made us feel like we were looking into Vice President-elect J.D. Vance's love with his wife, Usha, where you have an American-born gentleman falling in love and marrying an Indian lady. And you could see how maybe their love story evolved. But it showed cultures, and I think it was fun to watch.
They described it when you looked it up that it was holiday traditions and cultures collide when they first go home to meet the parents. Because you see right when it starts, and it kind of goes quick, the first year of their romance. A little backstory is they went to high school together. One was the baseball star. And it was in the popular kids, it sounds like. The other, she was in the mathletes, and just a different crowd. But he was the tutor, and they run into each other as she's the nurse practitioner in the ER on Christmas Eve or working the holidays, and he happens to end up there. And we watched then the first year of their love story really quickly go through all the seasons, which I loved how they did that.
Well, this is the first time that I've seen in Hallmark where you have actually a couple who appeared to be living together without being married.
And they kissed within the first 5 minutes. I loved that. I said, wow, this is fast for Hallmark.
Yes. I mean, unseen Hallmark. I've never seen this before. But Hallmark brought this out. And the families' controversies when they met each other and how they melded together. And this is America. This is races marrying. This is individual cultures marrying. And whenever you have a marriage, there's always a blending.
Yeah.
And this is, very, very wonderful to watch.
But I love how the mother, they showed that in Asha. So you have Anju Joshi, who plays Asha, and Benjamin Hollingsworth, who played Jake. And so her family, they really point out that her parents come from two different Indian backgrounds. So he was a Christian and she was a Hindu. And so they wanted to point out, I think, which I love, that it doesn't matter because they had to, when they got together, they had to meld their customs, and it worked out. So why would it be different just because?
Well, that was so beautiful about it.
That.
And many of our viewers come from mixed cultures, and you've blended your families and your parents with your spouse's families and the spouse's parents. And sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't. But hopefully it works.
Yeah, and I did love
most of the time.
There was some fun parts though. So they did throw in a lot of humor into this. So my favorite scene, I think, and this was even talked about in the movie, when Jake, the character Jake, was first they first went, they had to fly back home. It started off in Chicago, and then they didn't
That's
grow
it.
up there, so they had to fly somewhere. We're not really sure where it ended up. We still don't know.
To meet her parents.
To meet both their parents, because they both grew up in the same town.
They grew up in the same town.
And so they go for the first dinner, and there's a whole thing, different customs and stuff. But he always believed that she was making the chicken, the tamari chicken,
Tandoori, yes.
that it was made spicy. And so we find out later that she was adding ketchup into it, and that was not like a real tradition. So the father, he didn't first like him because he didn't get the blessing, which was a big thing, still customary in their religion. So he wanted him to eat and try like this competition to who can eat the hotter spices of the curries.
Yes, that's very common in Indian families.
And it was hilarious though how they were all watching, and then he went to go drink the drink afterwards. They're like, "No, here's the milk," and it was. And the father knew he was wrong doing this, but he was like,
right.
it was quite humorous though, and the way they just played it off, and
it was fun to watch.
It was fun.
With our most recent elections, we had people with running who were from mixed families, and you can imagine Kamala Harris's family. Her father was Jamaican, her mother was Indian. How they had to meld their families together, and this was fun.
It's believable, and I loved it. And then even his side of the family with the Christmas decorations, where the mother went by Molly, and so she comes over, and then remember he's like, and the father Samuel, who I love the supporting cast. I mean, both sets of parents were great in this.
They were very
they were
believable,
fun, believable. Yes. And so they're sitting down, and he was talking about how I've been winning this holiday decoration contest for like 15 years. And then, so the father of Jake Sr. said, "Now, Molly, didn't you used to do this competition when we were married?" Because they're divorced now. And she goes, "Oh yeah, I used to." And the father of Asha goes, "Molly, there was a Margaret McBride that used to be in the competitions that I always took second to."
That's right.
And she goes, "That's me." And so when she stopped doing the competition, he started winning. And so it was so much fun because that started the competition again, where they were then competing with the candy
The other
canes.
thing that was interesting is that, unfortunately, there are a lot of divorces that we hear about.
Oh, I love this part.
But when you get divorced, you really don't get divorced.
Yeah.
If you have children together, you will be divorced, but together for the rest of your life, because you'll have children, you'll have grandchildren, you'll see each other at weddings and parties and happy events together. So you saw this in this wonderful, wonderful production by Hallmark. And I think we really enjoyed
they started
2 Hallmarks this week.
Yeah.
And we enjoyed football.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always football.
What's for next week?
So next week we're going to watch, I think tonight we're going to watch, because Mom and I sneak peeked it and we think you'll like it, Jingle Bell Run. But next week, Friday night is Christmas on Call. Now this one's interesting. It's first responders in Philadelphia who are working over the holidays.
Yes.
So 2 different types of first responders and how they're going to meet and deal with over the holidays.
Yeah.
And then Saturday night is 3 wiser men and a boy. Now, this is the Brenner boys are back. If you remember from 3 wise men and a baby, which we saw again this year, and then it was on last year, which is just a delight with that cast. So they are now putting on a pageant for Thomas, who has grown up a little bit. Okay, so it's kind of a sequel to that one. So I think both of them are going to be good coming up this week too. And then if you remember, Thanksgiving weekend, we are watching, because I know you were watching the Chief game today. That is where Holiday Touchdown happens with a Chiefs love story, which
and Donna Kelsey
she shows up in it, which we were surprised. They showed a preview with her holding the cookies, I think, or something.
Donna Kelsey and her 2 boys. We all know about the Kelseys, and You know, the romance that we've been watching with Taylor Swift and her football boyfriend is past a year, and she's almost finished with her tour. And so maybe we're going to see some fireworks.
We'll see.
Maybe an engagement will come along.
Well,
Yeah. Tour is over.
we never know.
That's sort of exciting. Anyhow, on behalf of Jordana and I,
Yeah.
we thank you for watching. We wish you a wonderful Sunday. Take care of yourself and take care of your loved ones.
Enjoy the week, guys.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Joshi.
Hey guys, quick update. We just finished filming. I hope you enjoy this one, and I wanted to add a little bit of this into it because I mispronounced some things, and I want to apologize to the actors and actress that I mispronounced her name. Caroline Ray. I should have known that. I was just reading off my notes, and of course there is a little silent H in there, so I do apologize. And then also the woman who plays Asha, the actress, the wonderful actress, and I believe we pronounce her name Anuja Joshi. She was phenomenal and was great to see her on Hallmark. I hope we see her more often. It was great to see a new star with Benjamin Hollingsworth, and we really enjoyed that one. So hopefully you guys have a great week. And what was the chicken dish, Dad, I mispronounced? What was it?
Tandoori.
Chicken tandoori. I don't know if I've ever tasted it. We may have to order it one night. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.